Just a little backstory. My name is Chrissa, currently 27, and right now I am living in Ohio. I have been a deputy inspector for the longest time in my hometown, but around 3 years ago, I cracked the examination of the city police and was shifted to Ohio for work. My parents live in Massachusetts, along with my younger sister Missy, who is turning 19 soon. It was hard to leave my family behind and live in a new city all by myself, so all of them came with me to provide me with mental support for the first month of my posting here in Ohio. It was around 11 plus hours of driving with one or two stops in between. Back then, we did not have enough money to buy flight tickets for all four of us, so our only options were to either take our vehicle or travel by train. It would be nice to say that my family was super considerate. We packed all of our stuff, got in our small secondhand car that Dad had bought by working his butt off for 10 years straight, and headed towards the destination. I still remember how we got a flat tire and had to look for help, and ate our dinner by stopping near a drive-thru. After a tenacious drive of almost 12 hours, we were finally there. A clean, well-made, and furnished one-room apartment that we rented was waiting for us there. It was also overwhelming. A little parking spot was arranged, even though it was very difficult for 4 people to sleep in a one-room apartment, that too in a whole new city. All of them stayed back here to help me settle in. Days turned into weeks and I had my joining ceremony. Amidst all the celebration of a new job and the simple joys of your family sticking together, time flew like an eagle swooshing by. It was time for them to go back home. We waved at each other with tears as they boarded the train. Turned out, Mom, Dad, and Missy had decided to leave the car behind for me as a gift, so that I could use it to drive myself to and back from my office, aka the police station. And this was a very thoughtful gesture on their part. The dashboard had a beautiful mini family picture of us, so whenever I entered the car, it felt like home. Many months passed by. I sometimes missed my family, but thanks to technology, access to them were just a few clicks away. All was going well. I slowly made a few friends, got to know about the town's sheriff, and had tea with him on some occasions, and even solved a few small cases here and there. I'm talking crimes, of course. One thing led to another, and soon I was promoted to a higher position, which required me to spend more hours at the office, and it used to get super late for me to get home. As it had already been a year of my posting in Ohio, I had already saved up a decent amount. I started sending my parents a check every month as my contribution to the family and Missy's education. Although I had my share of savings, it was not enough to get a new place yet. That is when I decided to start looking for a new apartment, while continuing to save up some bucks from my earnings, hoping to be able to afford a new place to live in a few more months. Just as all these things were going on, a new case of a baby's kidnapping came forward. I came to know it was under some other officer who had been trying hard but still could not discover any trace of the kidnapper. Hence, after 2 weeks of their futile attempts at uncovering the traces of the criminal, it was handed over to me. For the sake of the family and their privacy, I'm not going to include the details of how the whole thing unfolded. But, needless to say, with the help of my teammates and the family's statements, the mystery was resolved after 6 sleepless nights. The baby was safely handed over to its parents, and they wanted to reward me for this salvation. I, however, refused to take the money. When they asked why, I elaborated that it could happen to anybody, including me. Female officer saves the day, creates history in Ohio, the Sunday magazine and newspapers read. It was all over the city. It felt pretty reassuring to know, but something else was also waiting for me. This whole newspaper reading thing was going on in the living room of the sheriff, where all of us were invited to an informal yet celebratory breakfast upon my solving of the case. After reading the whole news article about me aloud, he patted me on the back and mentioned that he appreciated my presence on the team and that if there was anything that I ever needed, I could ask him without a second thought. Well, one thing did come to my head. But I had to wait patiently for the rest of the people to call it a day, since I knew that speaking my heart out might create some trouble between them. When most of the people had left, I casually walked towards him, making sure I was in the correct earshot of the sheriff. And after confirming that there were only a few people present in the room who would not pay any attention to my conversation with him, I finally retorted. Me. Excuse me, Sheriff, sir. I was already feeling pretty nervous. Sorry for breaking your attention to the television. I just wanted to thank you for your kind words today. Sheriff. Oh, please, Chrissa. Just call me Adam. And whatever I said today was not at all to fake praise you or flirt with you. Hope you understand that. You have proven your worth in these past few weeks, and that honestly has been quite impressive. Keep up the good work. And if anything comes up, just know that I'm only one phone call away. Me. Oh, okay then, Adam. Well, thank you so much once again. It really does mean a lot coming from you, the deputy sheriff. There was one thing I was seeking your advice for. Adam. Sure, go ahead. I'm listening. Me. I don't know how to say this, but it has been hard to come to work regularly on Mason Street from that far away. And with the increasing amounts of groceries and my personal stuff, my current apartment is proving to be a little difficult to live in, well, both of its distance and size. Please get that I'm not asking for any financial help. All I'm looking for is some suggestions about cheap, yet decent places to live which are a little near the police station. Adam. Ah, what a humble woman you are. Listen, with the quality of work that I've seen, I don't think you should live just anywhere, no matter how cheap, no matter how decent. Me. Then, what do you suggest? Adam. Just 5 blocks forward from Mason Street, I have a cozy little bungalow to myself that I bought a few years back, and I was looking for tenants, actually, and was thinking of putting an advertisement soon. Me. That's amazing, sir. Adam. Yeah, I think you should get your stuff and move in there. I'll make all the arrangements and make sure that the keys are handed over to you. But there's a condition you have to agree to. Me, visibly confused. What condition, sir? Adam. Oh, Chrissa, please. No need to address me as sir. And yes, about the aforesaid condition, you cannot pay me any rent or any money to be living there. Only if you agree to this, then I'll permit you access to the house. Me. But how's that even possible, Adam? Adam. Of course it's possible. As I said, you've already proven your worth to the team, which is being better than them at a job that they have been doing for over a decade, and you will have only had around 2 or 3 years. Consider Sky Home, the name of the bungalow, as a gift from my side, a token of appreciation, if I may. Me. Well, in that case, Adam, I can't refuse a gift. I accept your condition and would love to live in Sky Home. Adam. Extending to shake hands. It's settled then. Let's get started on the paperwork. See you tomorrow evening with the key. You should go home and start packing. All was going exceptionally well. It took a week or 2 to set everything up. On February 8th, I fully settled in. The Sky Home was beaming with new lights and freshly mowed lawns as if welcoming me, the new guest. All was well, but it didn't last too long. A little bit of extended information. It's relevant and necessary for the next part. On the situation, after relocating from my previous apartment to the brand new Sky Home and unpacking the important stuff for continuously 3 days, my body kind of gave up and I was in dire need for some rest. So, even though there was a garage right behind the house, my tired and droopy eyelids were unable to open the lock to it even after multiple attempts, so I just left the car right outside Sky Home's main gates and went to sleep in the first room that I could get open. The next morning, after waking up feeling better and fresher, I got a hold of my toothbrush and went to the washroom, only to remember it was 8 a.m. and my car was still outside. I decided to open up the garage and drive it in the first thing after I finished brushing, as my office was not that far away, and I could walk there if I wanted to. 10 minutes later, I came out to start up the car, but there was an unpleasant surprise waiting for me. Right from inside the gates of Sky Home, I go to make out another car parked a bit too close to mine. It seemed like they were almost touching. A bad feeling instantly started brewing in my stomach. I ran out to figure out what happened. The weird-looking blue car had knocked into mine from the front way up and had managed to pathetically damage the windshield, headlights, and both the side mirrors. I was already angry, but instead of throwing a fit, I decided to check what the condition of the inside of the car was first. My fears were coming true. The driver's seat and the passenger seat were covered in broken glass. To my utmost horror, the family picture of the four of us was knocked down to the floor. I swiftly picked it up, cutting the side of my thumb with a glass shard in the process. As soon as I stood up straight, I saw the owner of the blue car approaching fast with a sippy cup in her hand. Karen. Hey, is this old-fashioned black car yours? I've been searching for you for over an hour. Why was it on the road? My blood was practically boiling at this point. Me. Exactly what I was going to speak to you about. Why did you damage my car? What did this car do to you? Karen, surprised. Oh my, the audacity. What did I do, you ask? What did you do? Why did you crash my car in the middle of the night like a thief, woman? Me. I was not driving this car last night. It was simply and only parked here. I was tired, so I went inside Sky Home and was planning to put the car back in the garage first thing in the morning. Karen. More and more lies. Do you think that you can get away with this? Up until yesterday, nobody lived here, and now you want me to believe that you are a resident. Me. Sheriff asked me to stay here, and not just by verbal communication. There's a whole contract on this. I can show it to you if you want, but that can wait. For now, I need you to pay me for the damage of repairing my car. Karen. What damage repair? I'm the one who should be saying this to you. Just because it was early in the morning and I was sleeping, you thought that you could get away with a filthy knocking over of my car? If you wanted to borrow it, you should have just said so. I know how jealous people can be nowadays. Now give me $1,000 to fix this mess or I'm going to sue you. Me. Sue me? Are you even aware of your words right now? There is CCTV surveillance camera right at the end of the road. You know that we can easily detect who did what to whose car. Karen, a little taken aback. I don't want to talk about the security of my neighborhood with you. You don't even belong here. Just give me the money. Your car crashed into mine when I woke up this morning, so I'm calling the cops. Me, smiling. Sure, go ahead and do what you want. But I'll leave my car right here so that I can witness what happens when the cops pull over. Karen. Oh, well, you're going to be sorry for your actions. Now just wait and watch. The rest of the story is short, but it unfolded swiftly and, I must add, hilariously. She went inside her home to probably dial 911 while I changed into my uniform and casually walked to the police station, which technically was my office. Boy, you should have seen her face when I came up along with 5 other officers to resolve her issue. Even the sheriff came by. I called Adam personally to make sure that he knew what was going on. The Karen, whom I didn't even know the name of before this morning, was suddenly falling to my feet apologizing for her behavior, and that it was only that she learned that the police officer that was assigned to her case was me, since I was the leader of the whole department, and that sheriff's gifting me Sky Home was also true. She promised that she would never repeat even a mild part of her previous actions ever again. And I made sure to set an example to show that good things don't happen to people who mess with my family legacy, and in this case, the black car. Oh boy, I never thought I'd hear from this crazed nut job again. Years ago, I started dating a girl online. She lived in Kent in the UK. I lived further north, let's say. We were getting along great. We had made plans for her to come to me for a weekend, when I get Facebook message from her ex. Now, we will call him Bob and her Katie. His message was basically, "Why are you chatting with my girlfriend? She's mine, and no one else can even look at her." Following that, loads of threats to ruin my life, etc. Turned out he had been kicked out of his new girlfriend's place. He is a serial cheat and unemployed after getting bounced from the army as a PT instructor for being too out of shape for his job. He had basically begged Katie to take him back. Katie took pity on him and let him sleep in her garage on a camp bed. He, of course, thinks that that's them back together. Anyways, he goes after me online when I refuse to drop Katie, turned people on me, and tried to get my Facebook account banned. He even threatened to kill me after getting drunk and stealing her phone while she was doing laundry. I got a restraining order. Carried on. Katie comes down. We have a great weekend. She even said that her daughter approved that I was a nice bloke for a change. We meet a few more times, then it happens. He calls her and begs her to take him back or he's going to kill himself. She dumps me over the phone, goes back to him, and goes bat crazy. The biggest one being I came home from work to see my Facebook lit up like mad by people asking if I was okay. They had made a group to bash me and ruin my life, but my friends, who were still friends with them, got it closed down after they tried to say that I was a pedophile. Well, since then, I blocked all contacts and got a restraining order on both of them. Moved on. Every few months, I'd get a new chat request from an unknown account. It would always be Katie, upset that once again he'd run off with someone else and wanted me back. Me, in a new relationship at the time, told her that she had made her choice. I'd moved on. She would keep making new accounts every time he cheated on her. I didn't hear from her for ages. Then today, I have changed numbers and cards, etc. She calls me. I have no idea how she got the number I have now. It's the same crap, different day from her now, and he's run off with her daughter, demanding I take her back and her 15-year-old she had with Bob, take them in, and I know you're in poor health. I can move in and be your carer, and we can be a family. You will love my daughter Mia. Throws a massive tantrum when I snap and tell her to F off. She goes on a rant about knowing that I'm single and crippled and need her to look after me. Never knew about Mia till today. Blocked her and spent the last 20 minutes shaking with my fave dialysis nurse calming me down. Guess I'm losing this number. Just needed a vent about this girl, I guess. I can't believe she actually thinks that I would take her back 12 years later. Well, normally I struggle to say no to people, but today I at least managed, even if I'm now feeling like crap with stress.